And it comes down to people. People buy people first is the first rule of sales. Yeah. And I want you to look at the first step in selling.
Got a question here, Ronald.
Yeah.
You've confused me slightly because
Good.
I'm trying to into numbers. You were talking up to date about a 5-step approach to selling, which was
Open with questions, identify needs, present features, advantages, and benefits, handle objections, and ask for the order.
right. And now the first thing you have here, is this the first part of the 9-step?
This is the first part of the 9-step.
Yes. Thank you. The real stuff, like.
Step 1. Yeah. Because the whole thing is not just selling. It's sales and marketing. Yeah. It's about relationships. It's about customer service. It's about far more than just that little piece of selling. And what the funny thing is that some of us think that we're actually not good at sales when we're particularly good at sales. Yeah, and we may have issues when it comes to customer service. We may have issues when it comes to being an introvert rather than an extrovert. Yeah. What would you guess? Anybody know what an introvert is? What an extrovert is?
Extrovert is someone that's really outgoing, and maybe introvert is someone that's real quiet.
Yeah. Any guess as to what I am?
Middle of the road.
Very good.
I am an introvert, yes. You can either be one or the other. And the wonderful thing about psychology is that when they split this thing up, is that you are either an introvert or an extrovert. I am an introvert. Yeah. And what is it? I am 50% of, I forget what the level is. And according to one of the psychometric profiles that I did, almost everybody is more extroverted than I am.
And yet you're actually
Yeah, and the difference is that what happens to people and well, how we actually deal with things. Extroversion is just the desire to go out and feeling very comfortable in going out and meeting other people and being able to interact with those people. Whereas I'm far more careful. And so a lot more cautious about introducing. I position myself in the room in a very different way than an extrovert would. I'm actually looking for the door the whole time. And how did I get out of here? In case this all goes bad, where am I going? So the idea is that as an extrovert, you might have fallen into sales and been able to produce a certain amount of it without having a good, solid structure on why you were doing it. Most introverts would need to understand first why and how to before doing it. We feel very, very uncomfortable trying unusual things. We have to push ourselves very hard to try something that's new. And so if you find it difficult, it could be just because of your own positioning. So what we're going to do is I'm going to try and make it a little bit easier for people. Because the first step in selling is establishing rapport. Anybody know what rapport is?
Within the relationship.
Yes.
There's a kind of connection between you that there's sort of a rhythm that you're talking to the same, you should say speak that you're on the same page.
It's a great way of expressing that.
It's two-way communication.
It's two-way communication, but
Getting to know them on a personal level first of all.
yeah, very much there.
Making people comfortable. Reaching a point of comfortable and then this with each other.
Yeah, part of it is there.
Finding a common ground to talk about first.
Commonality is part of it.
For sparking an interest. Igniting an interest.
Interest
Igniting
might be part of it. Yeah. Okay, to me, rapport is the synchronization of two people in a single emotional state. Okay, that's rapport. We both share the same emotions at the same time. That's rapport. And demonstrated emotions are about the way in which, when two people fall in love, what happens is their heart rates synchronize, their breathing synchronizes. What will happen is they tend to emit a pheromone, a smell comes off people who are actually attracted to one another. Their eyes dilate quite a bit because in order to take in some, oh my God, I've forgotten his name. Did the thing on the camera.
Not an arm, no.
Huh? Patrick did a thing on the camera, and he said, when you want to get a good photograph, and what you do is you open up the aperture of the camera so that you get a good exposure of a person. What happens with human beings is our eyes dilate. Yeah? We focus on a person who's close to us. We hook into their smells. All of these things start happening physically when you're in love with someone. When you have love at first sight. Anybody here ever had love at first sight? Because most psychologists would disagree that you ever had that. Because love at first sight. What happens when you meet somebody and you have an instant rapport with them is generally that they remind you of someone whom you met previously and who had a similar look, smell, something about them, and brings you back historically to some memory you have. And when you instantaneously fall in love with a particular person whom you haven't met before, and what's happening is you're working on that. So there is no such thing as love at first sight. It happened long before you met them. Yeah, but it does help you to have rapport. Now, the funny thing is that you realize that people who go out looking for love. By the way, this is a dating class as well.